Hello there. This is Caleb with the Unnamed Production Company. Tonight, we're gaming again. We are going to be using the basic fantasy role playing game, which is kind of an OSR clone, retro clone OSR game. Uses a lot of kind of the modern day third edition mechanics, but it runs pretty much like an old school D&D game. And I will be running the Hot Springs Island setting, which is published by Jacob Hurst. It is an island chain setting. It is system neutral. I've adapted it for basic fantasy tonight. And I am also setting it in my homebrew world of Caldwin. This will be on like the outskirts of my world. And so I am Caleb, going as GM Plague. We'll go around to the characters now. Sam?
Hey everybody, I'm Sam. My YouTube channel is Chalice and Chains, and today I'm playing Brother Ivar Farin, the human cleric. We are level 2, so I get a spell, so that's cool. And yeah, I'm excited. I love basic fantasy, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, Michael?
Uh, Michael, I'm playing Naduri Hammerbrow, a dwarven fighter who is really interested in ponies. So
should you clarify that? Because that could sound a little bit creepy. No, okay, good.
You're hooked now. You gotta see what that's about.
All right, now Nate? All right, Jen, I'm muted on the thing.
I am Grimwald.
OBS is not recording.
Am I muted?
No, you're
not.
Okay. So I am playing Grimwald Underfoot. I am a halfling thief, and I have he's completely randomly generated using the Central Casting Heroes of Legend book. So I've got lots of things I could highlight about his past, but suffice to say he is not particularly intelligent. He's calm and he's amoral. He just doesn't really care for right or wrong. And yeah, I am currently escaping or running away from persecution. Probably because I got caught thieving something.
Oh, we will get to the characters or what you're doing at the start of the game. All right.
Excellent.
So we start off pretty much an afternoon, the city of Caldwin down at the docks. City of Caldwin is known for the Ivory Keep that sits up on a mountain. It is a menacing-looking white castle. That sounds odd, but just the white bricks, the sheer size of it, how it kind of leers over the rest of the city. Some people call it the mountain's fang. It is pretty much the center of the human empire in this area. It's also the sleaziest and greediest cornucopia. Pretty much anything you can do happens there. A lot of people live and die and never leave that castle. But our story is not about the castle. Our story is out in the docks. Caldwin has discovered a new continent, and they have established a fort on that continent called Fort Redoubt. That is the only bastion of civilization on this new continent. And there are cargo ships that go. They ferry troops, they ferry supplies over. We are down at the docks for one of these said cargo ships, the Spinning Weasel. It is a pretty much, not quite a galley, but it's a decent-sized ship with two masts. So it's a quick. This one's just ferrying supplies, so it's supposed to be like a quick shot over. The ship is there. There's a ramp that goes down to the docks. There's a guy there. He's got kind of a red bandana, kind of just white, like a white shirt that kind of more like hangs on him. Some shorts. He's barefoot. You can see there's a sword strapped right to his belt. He's out there. He's yelling at a bunch of people. Come on, get that up there now. Come on, you, pick up that box. Get up there. You're not fast enough. We're not paying you for this. Get up there now. And now we'll go to Brother Ivar. I'm assuming you were on the docks at this point.
Yeah, so I would be standing maybe near some barrels, some cargo boxes or something, just sort of taking in the scene. Somewhat apprehensive. if anybody were to kind of look at me and notice me, you would notice a young man, no gray in his hair yet, very sort of short, well kept beard, but the eyes are very hard as stone. Um, Sporting a cloak that was once white, but is now kind of a gray, travel worn, stained with dust and soot from this terrible city. um, and I think I would just sort of be surveying this area, and under my breath, I would be kind of saying, I mean, probably loud enough if you were right near me, you'd hear it, but I would say, "The Lord of Light, grant me strength. The Lord of Light, grant me grace. The Lord of Light, grant me serenity. The Lord of Light, grant me peace." And just over and over in this rote, sort of thing. And then you would see I would take a swig from like a wineskin or a water skin. You can't tell, not a lot, just a few. Um, and then I think I would approach the ship. And Caleb, have we been like given passage on this ship, or do we have any kind of
Uh,
reason?
it depends. If you're wanting to go to the island, it was very easy to get passage. Um, I mean, it takes passengers. They're not stopping people from going there. I mean, if you want to
Yep.
go to this unexplored continent, what do
So
they care?
well, so yeah, so the reason I ask is that the way I sort of thought about it was that my character was
And I can't right now.
tasked with um by the head of his order to go to this new place, this new continent, to help bring the light and the gospel of the Lord of Light to this unexplored heathen land. And so I suspect maybe as I would approach the ship, as somebody kind of goes to say, "Hey, who are you?" I almost like in FBI fashion, I would just hold up my holy symbol, and that's maybe the only nice thing that I have on me right now. It's polished silver, right? And I just hold up this holy symbol and just show it to him, like that will mean something.
Yeah, the docks. It's a very like controlled chaos is a good way to put it. As you're saying, people are moving fast. There's a lot of yelling, but people are getting what they're supposed to be doing done.
Mhm.
I think the yelling is more for kind of like a show, but the workers seem to know what they're doing. Yeah, they trip, some drops, but they know what they're doing. They're getting the stuff up. It's actually going pretty fast.
Yep.
Uh, so that guy's still at the bottom. He's just like yelling, "Come on, get up there now!" People, they don't seem to be really taking it to heart. They're already doing their job.
Yeah.
He might be just could be how he is. He just likes to yell at people.
Sure. And so if I'm not sort of actively stopped, I would just get onto the ship and seek out the captain or whoever I need to make sure that my passage to this land is secured.
All right. So as you approach the guy at the bottom, he says, "You there, stop!" And he's pointing right at you. "Oh, holy man, I see. Are you on the boat?
I am
All right, get up there. Go see Andros."
Andros. Thank you.
And after he says that, he pretty much like ignores you.
Sure.
He goes back to just yelling at the workers.
Yep. And I would say, I would be looking around. I'd be like, "Who in the nine hells is Andros?" And then I think I would like maybe stop like one of the crew or something and be like, "Where can I find Andros?"
One guy, kind of in the big burly side, kind of lunks a crate down like, poof. And as you say, it says, "Andros, it's the captain quarters." Kind of like looking like a. How do you not know that? Come on.
Yeah. And I would say, "Thank you." And one more question. Where are the captain's quarters?
You see him kind of put his arms on like, you see that over there? And he's pointing to like the back of the ship.
Yeah.
Where it like raises up, there's like a door there. It says, "That door right there." It says, "Use that head, use your legs, and you walk over there. You go in there. That's where Andros is. That's the captain's quarters. Now leave me alone." He turns away.
Yeah. And I would just kind of nod, and then I would walk over to the door.
All right. We will switch to Nidori.
All right. So there's this like pretty average sized dwarf standing around. He's wearing chainmail. He's got a mace run through the back of his belt, kind of sideways and loop through. He's got a hand axe in the front and a couple warhammers also tucked in. I mean, he's pretty kitted out. He's got a shield over his back, but the thing that really makes him stand out is he's just staring kind of giddily at this pamphlet looking thing in his hands, and he's just got this grin on his big dumb dwarven face. So he got sent by his uncle Balgrout Grimopal. He is trying to buy a pony, and so it's like a big deal. He's gonna go from being infantryman to cavalry, and like he's gonna be riding. And so he got sent to the big city that he's never been to before to buy a pony, and he's kind of gotten the runaround. So he's looking for a different ship entirely, but he's not very perceptive. So this was the spinning weasel. He's actually looking for the screeching weasel, but I think he's going to get confused here and kind of wind up on this boat anyway. He just left a tavern. They kind of pointed him this direction. He's got a jingly belt pouch full of gold.
So what is on this pamphlet that you mentioned?
It just directions for the name of this guy who's got this really beautiful breed of ponies that kind of like our Clydesdales.
Okay.
Really stout, kind of furrier around the hooves. And he's just psyched about this horse, and totally lost.
So we'll say you're down at the docks. You're seeing pretty much, like I said, a controlled chaos. There's a decent sized ship. There's a guy at the bottom of the ramp. He's got a red bandana, the white shirt that, like I said, it more like hangs off of him instead of he's wearing it. Barefoot pants. He's down there. He's got a big sword strapped on the side. He's yelling at all this crew, the boxes, and people are moving pretty quickly. It seems to get done. He's just yelling orders. He'll yell one person. He turns around like he had eyes on the side of his head, and he starts yelling at another crew. And you see, as you get there and take this in, you see what looks like a man in white robes, probably some of a holy man, is walking up the ramp and gets onto the ship.
So Naduri walks up. Is this the weasel?
What? You see him look down. Oh, the weasel? You're looking for the weasel? Yes.
Yeah.
What do you want going on the ship for?
I need to see a man about a horse.
Go. Move that box. Okay, what?
I need to see a man about a horse.
A horse?
Yeah, they told me to go on the weasel, and I see a man about a horse.
You know what? All right, you were told to get in the weasel? Go on up.
I turn the paper to him, and it's weasel on it.
He just kind of like slaps that out of the way. Like, I don't care. You're here for the weasel. Get up.
Okay, thanks.
And once again, he starts going back to yelling. As you probably the same. You're walking up the ramp. You're walking around like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, and I'll tuck the paper into my pack and just start looking around for the non-existent ponies.
All right, so you'll get up to the ramp. You get on the ship. Very similar to what's going on docks. A little less chaos because it's not as more people moving boxes. You see them take them down to the hold. People there scrubbing the top of the ship. And now we will go to Grimwald.
Yeah, so I don't know if you got the picture that I sent there or if you were able to even see it. I did find some pretty cool looking artwork for the halfling, but I will try to describe it as best I can. He is kind of strolling into this dock area pretty quickly, and he is currently running from he got caught mid thieving, and as is just kind of like on the tail end of his escape, and he kind of has gone now from a maybe he like hid in the corner and like some guards or whatever ran by and he's finally like he's eluded the guard and he just comes kind of strolling into the dock. He doesn't really care about a whole lot. And he's walking, he's got a pipe, he's got some it's shorter hair that kind of slants off to one direction. He's got kind of a band around his head and wearing a nice leather shawl type thing. And he might have a ring on one finger, and he just is kind of coming strolling in. And as he kind of looks around at the chaos on the dock, there seems to be a lot of chaos. I want to see if I can find anybody who is sufficiently distracted to where I could just kind of walk up to them and skeeve something they have.
There are lots of people distracted here, but the guy at the bottom of the ramp, he seems to be very vigilant. He's yelling at everyone. He seems to literally have eyes in the back of his head because he'll yell at someone, whip his head around, start yelling at them, knew exactly what they were doing wrong. The rest of the people probably are easy marks, but him, and he's got a view of this whole area.
Did I get a? Yeah, so I have a bad feeling that if I were to attempt something, he might, unless I do really well, he might see
There are
me.
a lot of crates and barrels still left. If you wanted to pull some type of heist,
Okay.
it is possible.
You know what? We're gonna say that I hear something that gets me kind of spooked. I think I might hear the clopping of horse hooves or whatever coming this direction, and when I hear that, I immediately assume that it's probably those same people that were coming after me, and so I'm probably just gonna try to sneak onto the ship and go where fate takes me because I don't really. I just need to be somewhere other than here.
All right. Are you going to go up the ramp?
Is there another way around? Is the ramp the only way onto the ship?
The only way without getting
Or
wet.
is there like another ramp? Okay. Is there a box, a crate that looks like it's going to be hauled up into the ship?
If you take a minute and observe, you can see that there is kind of a pattern they're doing. You could probably time it. Well, you can tell like which ones they're going to grab. I mean, it might take a minute or two to get that pattern down, but you can kind of see they are working a certain like a grid almost.
Yeah. Okay. Are the workers dressed in a certain way where they're clearly identified as dock hands?
I mean, they're all male. A lot of them are big and burly. Half of them don't even have shirts on. The other half have white. I don't know if you can call them shirts. It's like literally like a rag that they put a hole for the head in and just put it on. Probably good airflow.
Yeah.
Looks like crap, but I mean, yeah, they all kind of have.
He'll tuck his pipe away.
They're all dripping with sweat. It's pretty clear who are like the workers.
Yeah, I'll put my pipe away. I'll take my ring off and put it in my pocket. I'll crack my hands and I will I'll join in like if I see some people picking up a crate, getting ready to haul it in, I'll kind of insert myself into that situation, help them lift the crate and walk them in, hopefully with no questions asked.
You're gonna try and help lift the crate?
Yep, and just walk onto the ship with it.
All right. So this one guy comes over big. He walks over to the crate you're looking at, just takes these big meaty hands, arms, wraps them around the crate, kind of like and lifts it up and is carrying it like it's almost like it's on his like chest and gut area. You see him kind of like adjust his arms and start a couple grunts. He kind of pivots and starts walking towards the ramp.
Okay, I'll say. Let me help you, buddy. So he's probably a little bit taller than me, so I probably have to like reach up pretty high. But I'll put my hands on the underside of it, and I'll just kind of give it a little bit of support.
So as you go under and you kind of like put your arms up, where are your arms? Almost like at your max reach. That's like the bottom of the box. Though you do realize if he drops this thing, no more halfling.
I'll kind of hold on to the corner of it, not the center of the box, but the corner.
All right.
If it drops, I can.
All right, so it takes a couple steps. What the hell? What are you doing down there? And he stopped walking.
Yeah, and I adjust my voice. I'm like, I'm doing my job. I'm giving you a hand lift in this crate.
Cocks his eyebrows. You?
Fine, I'll walk up ahead and
he
make
starts
sure.
laughing, and you see the
Make
box
sure there's
start to
nothing for you to trip on.
He starts to laughing. You see the box start to jiggle. You know what?
Like, fine, I'll lead the way so you don't trip on anything.
I haven't had a laugh like that in a while. Come on. So he starts walking. Probably,
yeah.
His strides. You probably have to almost run while doing this. While he's just these giant strides.
It probably looks ridiculous. Yeah.
Yep. Well, as you get to the bottom ramp, the guy that's yelling, he actually you hear the yelling stop, and he's just staring at you, and with as you go, it's like a what the hell? It's amazing. This whole area is quiet now. It's whoa, a lot of people kind of stop, look around, hey, stop yelling, what? So you start going up the ramp. He kind of just shakes his head. All right, whatever. And then he goes back to yelling, you there, yeah, come on. There's still some boxes left. They're not going to get up and walk themselves. Get them up on the ship. So you just kind of up on the ramp. All right.
Yep. And once that happens, I'll just kind of find a place on the ship to stow away and hide.
All right. We'll go back to Brother Ivar.
So, standing outside the captain's door, I'm a little bit apprehensive because I've never been on a ship, and although I'm excited that I've been given this task, going to a new uncivilized land is dangerous, and while I believe that the Lord of Light will illuminate my path and show me the way, there have been stories of people not coming back from these types of trips. So I hesitate for a minute, hold my hand up to knock, wait, and then on the cabin door.
Okay. You hear a little bit of shuffling, some boots, not super heavy steps, but not very light steps. Come out, opens the door, and you see this man dressed in a very fine. He's got one of the, a bright red, it's almost like a suit jacket coat, as a a point of reference coat. Very well, mustache and beard, very very well groomed. Hair jet black, and his hair pretty much it's on the short side. It's not really. It looks like it's probably just tuft, and then he kind of just shapes it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he looks very well groomed, nice. The clothes are nice, but as he moves, you can hear some armor, almost clank underneath. You don't see any armor, but it sounds like there's something underneath that shirt.
Yeah, and that's not surprising to me because the same thing would be noticed about me if someone was close by. And I'm sorry, Caleb, what was the captain's name again?
Andros.
Andros, okay.
Andros. Andros.
Okay.
So as the door opens, he says, yes.
And I would look at him and I would just say, Captain Andros?
Yes, that's me.
May the light shine on you. It is good to see you. This is...
holy man.
Yes, indeed. I seek passage on your ship. It should have been arranged by my order, but I wanted to confirm with you that is in fact the case.
Very well, been arranged, but personally, I don't care about that. If you want to go to this place, go ahead.
Very good. Well then, I'll be sure to stay out of your way, but if any of your men are in need of counsel, spiritual counsel, you let them know. Seek me out.
Well, which deity do you serve?
And Caleb, what did you say was the name of the Lord of Light?
Aran.
Aran, yes.
Aran. Aran.
Yep. Thank you. When I say the Lord of Light, Aran in this land?
Follower of Iran. Well, while I do appreciate the offer of your services, we kind of have our own holy man on this trip. It's Brother Tal. He serves Marina, but hey, it's another holy man. You're welcome on this trip. Just stay out of the crew's way. Should get along fine.
Appreciated. Thank you, Captain Andros.
Now, Marina, I'll say since you're a holy man, she is the goddess of kind of like luck in the open seas. Kind of a chaotic, like if we're going D&D, like a chaotic neutral type.
Yeah.
Very roguish, freak, I don't care type.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of sailors adore her. A lot of gamblers adore her. She's commonly venerated as the she-bitch.
Yeah. Yep. I gotcha.
A lot of people say she actually secretly likes being called that, but
I think I would actually count this as good fortune because while some in my order are rather stuffy and believe that Iran is the one and only deity, I maybe don't, and so, or at least I tolerate other people's beliefs, and so I would count this as good fortune because a crew that believes in luck and believes in a higher power will more likely be willing to do things out of the ordinary when things go wrong, and so that serves or bodes well for us. So I will be just kind of milling about the ship, looking for a place that I can kind of hunker down that might provide some cover from the elements.
okay. Actually, someone would have directed you to go below decks. Pretty much, it's just kind of cots there.
Okay.
If someone's not there, it's yours. Take it.
Sure.
Seems to be no. While people seem to be welcome on this ship, no one seems to really care or pay attention to the people that are here.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll see that, and then, but I won't claim a bunk. I will go back up top. Because again, I'm sort of surveying the people and seeing who's on board and and all that.
All right. So we will now switch to Niduri.
So I imagine Niduri's probably kind of aimlessly wandering around the top deck, kind of looking at his paper and then looking up. And
so you're like looking at the paper, looking around like, that doesn't look like the right thing.
Right. All right.
So there's a couple times people kind of like they brush. You don't think it's on purpose, but they kind of like knock into you. Get a lot of curses, a lot of racial slurs probably thrown at you.
Yeah, and he's just like kind of oblivious to that. Yeah, and he's also probably not getting seasick because he's got dwarven constitution, but this is his first time on a boat or on a large body of water, so he's also a little maybe imbalanced and just completely out of his element. Yeah, he would probably eventually
still on the dock.
Right, but I'm on the ship, aren't I?
Yep.
Yeah, but we're not even out, but just being on the water and the boat kind of moving a little bit. But yeah, so Niduri will eventually kind of grab somebody and ask for Novar. Where can I find Novar?
All right. Someone says Novar. Now, Michael, who is Novar?
Novar purportedly is selling the pony.
Okay. So that's the name on the pamphlet then.
Right.
Okay. So you ask, where's Novar? So one guy, nothing in his hand, looks like he's walking back to go down the ramp to get something else, stops. Novar?
Yeah. I was told Novar would be here at the Weasel.
Well, yeah, you're at the Weasel, but there's no one on this crew called Novar.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll keep looking.
All right. As you kind of look the other way, you see two guys. They're looking at you, and they kind of exchange some coins. One guy kind of like points, like in your direction. You see him kind of like laugh. They pass some coins between each other. And you hear one of them say, he points at you, says, "Got some money on you. Don't fail me."
Um,
The other guy says, "Yeah, you look like you're about to puke over the deck." I bet that you would.
I'll take that bet.
It's both of them kind of like stop, like, what?
Yeah,
You'll join in?
yeah, I'll take the bet.
You see them kind of like look at each other. The first guy goes, "What you betting on?"
I mean, I'll bet that I won't puke.
You're on my side. Yeah, you can do it. The other guy's like, the hell with it, why not?
So, yeah, Naduri will pull out 20 gold pieces.
As you offer 20, they're kind of like, whoa. You sure you want to put that in?
I mean, yeah.
Just, he holds out his hand. He's got like 4 gold in his hand. It's like, that's our max bet.
All right. Well, he'll clink 16 back in and fork over 4, and then slap them both on the back. Just kind of heartily, like a Santa Claus kind of thing.
So as you slap them on the back, their faces kind of like, both of them just like stare at you. Don't touch us.
Okay. Either of you guys know where I could find Novar?
Novar?
Yeah. Or horses. The
horses.
Where's the horse section of the ship?
You know you're on a boat, right?
Yeah. There's like a livestock pen in the hold, or I've got.
Maybe we should take the bet on how long you'll last.
I don't.
There are no horses on this trip.
Okay.
Do you know where you are?
I'm on the Weasel, right?
You're on the Spinning Weasel, yes.
Screeching Weasel.
You're on the wrong boat, laddie. And as he says that, you see the ramp getting pulled up.
Nice.
As the guy at the bottom ramp got up, he orders so the ramp gets pulled up. All right, let's go. Starts like clapping at him as his, all aboard, come on, let's go. We're leaving now. So as you get the realization you're on the wrong boat, the ramp is pulled up and the boat starts moving.
So I'm not sure what dwarven god there would be here, but he will take at least 3 of their names in vain as he kind of realizes what's transpired here.
You start cursing all the dwarven deities. It's like you're on the Spinning Weasel, not the Screeching Weasel.
I think as he's cursing the dwarven gods, I think I might have been like kind of watching this scene unfolding.
This would have this definitely escalated into a scene, yeah.
And
he's loud.
Yeah. And I think I would come over at this point because I was a little bit worried that he might end up doing something dumb. And so I sort of I come over and I say, I don't know how it is in the halls of the dwarves, but in the halls of light, it's not a good idea to curse the gods, especially not on a boat, a ship, whatever. And then I would hold out my hand and I would say, "Name's Ivar."
You get a big meaty hand in return. Naduri Hammerbrow.
Like, well met, Master Dwarf. What?
Now, Grimwald, I'll say you came up at the end where he slapped their back and they were like, "Don't touch us." That's when that's kind of like when you came up. You saw, and that's when the probably startled you as you came up. The guy from the bottom came up right behind you and started yelling like, "Hey, we're leaving now." And you see what looks like a holy man kind of go over to this dwarf.
Yeah. And I imagine you'd probably notice this like silver, like well polished silver holy symbol. By the way, I would have a warhammer and a shield on my back, but I'm all like tattered and dirty except for this like, brilliantly polished. And I would imagine it would like shine in the sun. Not that big, but probably like something like that.
Blinds people.
Yeah, it's like a sunburst emblem.
All right.
Would I've been aware that there was a bet made, or did I not quite catch that?
No, knowing who you are, you could see the two guys that were like don't touch me. You can see they look like they exchanged some type of coins, maybe some type of wager. They definitely have coins on them. There was an exchange of coins. That's about all you know.
All right. Yeah, I'll just meander that direction.
Now there's a holy man in the area with a very nice.
I'm not going to draw any attention to myself.
Medallion.
Yep, I'm just gonna just meander that direction and not bring any attention to myself. I'm just gonna get a little bit closer to those guys and see if at some point I can see what kind of coinage they have on them.
And I would think as he is very nonchalantly doing that, I would look over to Nidori and I would say, it's also not a wise idea to be flashing that kind of coin around on a ship like this.
This?
To this?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's on my belt, and I'll be like, who would bother a dwarf carrying so much gear? Then I'd like kind of waggle my hand axe, and then put it back in the belt ring and just kind of chuckle.
As you do that, and you like want into your belt ring and kind of like jingle a bit, you see there's no one's trying to hide that. You see a lot of people kind of like glance over that way now. A lot of people on the deck kind of like he's got money. Like,
yeah, and I think I would say, Master Dwarf, I'm not too familiar with dwarves, and I mean, I assume you do live underground, as the stories say. Is that correct?
'Tis true.
Do you have water, streams, anything underground in which you would have learned to swim?
Not particularly. Just some small pools to bathe in, basically.
I see. You should stick close with me. I think the Lord of Light will help guide you as long as you stay close. But I fear if you venture away.
As long as the Lord of Light is okay with us each having a flag and a veil, that sounds all right with me.
and I would say, yeah, the Lord of the Light doesn't have any rules on that. So if you're buying,
oh, indeed.
And I would pat him on the back, similar to what he did before, and I would say, very good, Master Hammerbrow, which would be the first time I would have actually called you by your name, and I would say, then let us pass this journey in good spirits.
I would completely forget that I'd been told not to touch the other two, and I would again throw my arm around them and invite them to come and imbibe with us as well. Let's see you both make good on that bet.
Well, so as you do that, it looks like one guy, you can see like his face, like his hand comes up and is like, wait a minute, are you buying?
Yes. Come on. You're about to lose your bet.
Okay. At that moment.
At that moment. I was going to say, now we switch over to... Well, I was going to say, now we switch over to Grimwald, where you saw the exchange, looked like those guys exchanged coins, but then you see this dwarf kind of jingle, which is obviously a coin sack full of a lot of coins.
Yeah, so I am an opportunist, but I'm not that idiotic. The target I was eyeing was actually the guy who was holding the wager of the 12 coins. So he's probably got that mad look on his face. And at that moment, I want to just kind of inch up behind him and try to skeeve that from him.
All right. So go for pickpockets. Is that a GM one or is that a?
Nope, that's me.
Oh, so you roll that.
And at level 2, I need a 35 or lower. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, here I go. I must have a lot of lag. Sorry. Come on. 32.
All right. So you kind of just meander. As you just meander, no one seems to be really paying attention to you. And you see that guy, as they finish, like, it looks like he was about to start some type of fight and was like, he heard like a buying. He sees his whole, like, just his body language just like relaxes. And you see him, like, he's got a smaller coin sack aside. You see him kind of open it up and drops. You hear a lot of clink, clink, clinks as he drops it in there. And he's like claps his hand. All right, let's go get wasted. Then as he says that, you have like a dagger or something? Or how do you want to
get it? Yeah, I do.
All right, so I'll say you just kind of.
Is it a coin?
Yeah, it's a coin purse.
A coin pouch?
Yeah, just the very basic, like.
Yeah.
Probably on its last legs type one. All right, so he starts walking away, and you kind of just turn the other way, and you just kind of get your dagger out, and you just kind of like nick the string off, tying it to his belt, and like your other hand, you just kind of catch as you turn, you just kind of catch behind your back, and you pull in front of you, kind of like look back. Doesn't seem like he noticed at all.
All right, I'm gonna add 12 gold to my stash.
And this group seems to be going somewhere to drink. You don't know exactly.
That's all right. I'll follow fairly close behind to get myself a drink.
All right. So these two guys, they lead you below decks. You see where's the obvious sleeping area. It's pretty much just cots, maybe a couple beds. Seems like any bed that's there, the crew member has already claimed it. You kind of go past there. There's a bunch of like tables set up, obviously some other like eating area. And in the back, you can see it's a bar, but it's more like a bunch of barrels, the big like piece of wood just laid out on top. Some more barrels used as the stools. And there's this like giant big like bald, but like with the mustache that kind of like comes down. I don't know what those mustaches are called.
Like a Fu Manchu?
Yeah, Fu Manchu, that was it, yeah. He's behind the bar. Kind of looks decent clothes. Maybe not quite well groomed, but like decent clothes. He's behind this kind of like bar. And there's a lot of people here. Like, no one's really eating, but there's a lot of cups being clanged, a lot of drinks. These two guys says, come on up here. Here's seat you up at the bar. Says, hey, Dora, get this guy some of the special stuff.
Oh, special stuff, eh?
Yeah, don't worry. See the bartender gets this kind of like big smile, goes back, pours takes like a keg barrel, pours stuff into a cup. Before he hands it up, he says, who's paying for this?
I am, and I'll like reach in and get like a handful of coins, and just like kind of how much for the?
Did you put the handful on the bar?
No, I mean they're just like in my big meaty hand.
How much you got?
I mean, how much is four drinks? Four.
Yeah, 4 drinks. Give me 2 gold for this stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Hand him 2 gold. Let the others clink back.
That is very expensive for drinks, actually. All right. So he gets a couple more. He throws down these cups. What's in these cups is a liquid. It is an amber-ish color, but it's bubbling. It's like actively just bubbling. The one guy. Now the two guys who took the bet, one looks like the one who was betting that you will puke. Barely older than a kid, probably like late teens. Like no facial hair, probably thin and lanky. The other guy looks more like in his late 30s, like the veteran, like the sea salt guy. Bandana, his beard is kind of like, he's brown with like flecks of white in it. I like mine. So they kind of like, they both take a sip. You can see that it's like and they kind of like look at you. Well, you down the whole cup?
The whole cup.
All right, make a poison save.
All right, so this is D20 plus my bonuses.
Yeah, this is not a save or die save, but
Right. So being a dwarf, I get a +4. So that is a 13.
check it over your value.
Yeah, if you wrote your saving, I don't know, Caleb, if this would help or not, but we could just say pass or fail if you want.
Yeah, just say pass or fail.
Okay.
I gotta find.
13. I think he would probably pass. Fighter, I think, has a pretty good.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I forgot it's against the class, right?
Yeah, there's a chart.
Yeah, but the stinking book doesn't lay it out right. Fighter
Oh
level
crap!
2
Yes, page
is
53. It's 11.
11. Yeah, so you passed.
All right. Yes, in the future for saves, just say pass or fail. All right. So you down this cup, and you almost instantly just vomit it. Probably the only thing that saved you was your being a dwarf. Like you're dwarven. Your people's love of ale is probably the only thing that just saved you from instantly vomiting this stuff up. This is vile. Like nowhere near dwarven ale. This is stuff you don't even know. Like as you look, like the stuff in the cup is still bubbling, even though you finished it. You taste a heavy dose of salt. You don't know a couple other things. This stuff is just absolutely vile. They seem to take another swig. They kind of clinch a little bit, but they seem to no problem down this. But you almost just vomit up all over the place. So you managed to keep it down, but not pleasant at all. Did not taste good.
Just kind of tap my chest and probably belch.
Yeah.
Like
So
right in their faces, though.
See them kind of as you belch in their face. They both kind of like roar back in laughter. Like the dwarf took it. We should have made a bet. The dwarf could have downed this stuff. Doing. The younger guy turns to Ivar. Holy man, you gonna partake?
And I would look at him and I would say, well, if the dwarf reacts like that, I don't think that ale's safe for anyone who hasn't grown up in this lifestyle. No, I think I'll pass, but thank you.
I had to put nice hair in your chest. Maybe grow that nice beard.
And
I will grab Ivar's mug and drink it too.
All right. You don't have to make another save. You already so you kind of know how it's going to affect you. So you just kind of like you partly brace yourself, partly just it's going to hit you. Once again, you don't almost instantly vomit it, but it goes down, and you just like you feel stuff go down your throat, right? Like particles of stuff go down, and just like your neck, your throat burns. This stuff is just so vile. All right, Grimwald, what are you doing?
I'm just kind of sitting to the side watching this in amusement, and I'll look to the bartender and I'll say, "I'll take one of those. Looks good."
You see him kind of like look over, like above you. Then he looks down. Haha, you want one of these? You know what?
Yep.
I want to see this. He goes back, pours in once again brings out a mug, kind of slams it down. This is on the house. I want to see this. So you now have a mug in front of you. It's like an amber liquid, but it's bubbling. It's almost like a mad scientist lab. It's just like bubble. This cup is bubbling in front of you.
Yeah, I drink it down.
All right. Poison save.
Yeah, I get a +4, and my target number is 12. So here we go. That's a 20. That's a pass with flying colors. I should.
Did you get a nat 20 or dirty 20?
Nat 20, so 24 total.
20. All right. So you down this, start drinking it, and then without making any body movements, you just tip the cup up and down the whole thing. You put it down. Your face is just like stone the whole time. You just put it down there. Didn't clinch or anything. Probably let out a nice belch, but like you didn't clinch or like almost vomit or anything. And you can see like the other two guys are like looking at you like.
I was like, that's pretty good.
Another drink for the little one.
Oh. So the older guy says, "You know what?" He starts like clapping. That was good. I'm gonna buy you another one. He reaches down. Wait a minute. Where's my coins? See him bend down, look at the floor. Where the bloody hell is my coins?
At this point, I would be kind of like nudging Nidori with my elbow, and I'd kind of lean in and be like, "Just offer to pay for it. Distract him."
Pay for it. I made a bet with him.
Just pay for the drink.
Oh. Wait.
Once again, he's just more.
That's all right. I got it.
Yeah, Nidori's gonna get up and walk over to the guy who's now palming his missing pouch and kind of grab his shoulder and say, "How about we make good on the bet?"
Well, Grimwald, what were you doing?
Yeah, I'd say no. Don't worry, I got it, and I'll ting one of the coins onto the bar.
As you like get his shoulder, says,
I'm assuming the coins are indiscernible.
Yeah, no, there's no way he would be able to look at it like that was my coin.
Yeah, that was my coins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know that was mine. I gnawed my tooth marks there. All right, so Nidori, you go put on your shoulder, like you'll take good on the bet, and he's like swings over to you, and he's just got like look of like he's just about to lash out, and then the little halfling comes up. I'll take care of it. Flings down a coin. It seems almost pretty much you can see once again. You see his body language, just like just tense out. Even the bartender was like had like a look like what's gonna happen as the coin. It's almost like when that coin hits the bar, like slow motion kind of like stopped, and everyone's like back to normal. You can see everyone just visibly tenses. You see the guy kind of like glares at you a little bit, Grimwald. That's good. It's good. Still doesn't explain my coin purses. You know what?
Yeah, I know that's a real mystery. That.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back on the top deck. Come on, and he kind of grabs like the kid, almost kind of like yanks him up out of the seat. And they go back. Looks like they go back. They're going back to the sleeping area, going back up deck.
Nidori's gonna call out like, "Hey, wait!"
I'd be like,
they flat out ignore you.
It's not worth it, Master Dwarf.
I won the bet though. I was gonna buy a new saddle for my horse.
You shouldn't make a habit of betting with someone with no coin. It's not wise.
He showed me the coin. It was a bet about throwing up, and I'll
put four coins on the table and I say, "Here you go. I'm pretty sure these are the same exact ones you handed him."
Okay. Much obliged.
Well, there you go. It's like it never happened.
Okay.
Well, the bartender leans in.
No problem. Grimwald Underfoot. Nice to meet you.
The bartender leans in. Did you say those are the coins that he had? Kind of like
did I say that? No.
He leans in.
No, I meant.
You little
I meant.
thief.
I think
they all looked the same. I just meant that.
I think I would lean in and I would be like, I think what he meant was that it's as good as the coin that guy would have had. Halflings, they're a strange bunch. Don't worry about it.
They are.
Yeah, I don't talk right.
He's anything like the other ones, and damn right they are.
Mm-hmm. We're all weird.
Coins clink back
He
into
kind of points to you, Grimwald, says, "You watch yourself here."
I plan on it.
He just kind of like does a.
And then I would look over to Naduri and I would be like, so I don't want to drink that, but I don't mind having a drink. Maybe we can toast to our friend here and his newfound riches.
Sure. Looks to the barkeep and got anything little gentler for our friend here?
Okay, at that point, as right before I started the conversation, you heard other footsteps approaching, and they sit down. I'll just say the stool's next to you. There is two humans, one male, one female. They both have the kind of the adventure, like the do what you want type like lifestyle. The female's got a nice set of like studded leather armor. She's got a very, very nice looking bow slung across her back. And you can see in her quiver a lot of arrows. They all have different types of heads on them, almost like they're just specially crafted arrows. She's got a short sword at her belt. The guy, he's more in like, he's not really armored up, but just has that like traveler explorer type look to him. Sits down. He's got a long sword at his belt. But Ivar, you can see, while he does not look at all like a holy man, he is wearing the amulet of Marina. It is a double-sided coin with some waves coming up on it. He's plainly visible on his neck. You would know this is the symbol for Marina. Mm-hmm. But if he didn't have that, never would have guessed he was a holy man.
Gotcha.
So they sit down and says, if you don't want something other special, might I suggest some of the elven wine we have?
And I would probably look to him and I would say, much obliged. Elven wine sounds like it'll hit the spot.
He says, you must be the holy man I heard about. He extends a hand. I'm Brother Tal.
And I would clasp it and I would say, Brother Ivar, well met.
Oh, yes. We may venerate different deities, but who cares here?
Well, and I would say, perhaps, although I would say that the light shines on the lucky and the wayward traveler alike, so perhaps we could get along just fine.
You seem like look up. Yeah, she bitch is nice sometimes. She earns her name a lot, but she can be nice. Grant favors. But like I said, you can enjoy some of the wine. And he's got a clean-shaven face. His hair is like, he's got brown hair that's like slicked back. Not like a well-groomed, but definitely tries to stay decent-looking, but not like a noble like look.
Yeah.
Looks good type.
But he seems fairly well-to-do.
Yeah.
All right.
And the female next to him, she hasn't said a word yet.
Sure. I think
she's like I said, she's decked out. She's got long, like blonde hair, very striking features.
And I would say, Brother Tull, you the resident chaplain on this ship, or what brings you to the
chaplain?
Weasel?
I guess you could call me that. Andros hires me for the ship. Let's just say for the most part, I take care of the sailors. They get wounded. They get diseases from Other activities. I'm kind of the one that tends to them. The ship's been working a lot better. We're not losing as many people.
Seems as though Captain Andros is fairly successful as a merchant captain.
He's one of the few that's made multiple runs and not really had an incident.
Well, it seems as though Marina has lived up to her reputation, it seems. I'm sure he is more than pleased to have you aboard.
See, he takes his amulet, kind of like kisses it, and goes, "Yeah, you bet."
And I kind of would look over at this point to the female, and then I would look to him and be like, "And who's your friend?"
Well, you see, he kind of like leans back. This lovely lass is Riza. She's our resident. Riza, dear, what do you call yourself? She's just kind of like looking forward down at her cup on the tracker. That's all she says.
And I would get this puzzled look on my face, and I would say, "Forgive me, I haven't been out of the city very much, and certainly never traveled much on a ship, but what need of a tracker is there on a ship?"
Brother Tao kind of like leans in again. Oh, not completely obscuring your view of her, but covering most of it. Oh, she goes out on the unexplored land. She tracks, she gets game, she protects us. That's a pretty nasty place. On the ship, no. On the ship, no. Doesn't do much, but she's very handy when we land.
And she accompanies you back here instead of staying over there. I said, "What is it like over at the fort?"
Well, like me, Andros kind of has her on retainer. Fort Redoubt, I mean, it's a shithole if you want the truth. It's barely holding itself together. Place is pretty nasty. A lot of nasty beasties there. Not a lot of supplies are coming over. Not a lot of money for upkeep. It's standing for how long? Who knows?
And do you
At
minister
this point,
to the
I
people
want to
there?
make sure I'm listening to this conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's hard for me to interject because there's like a 5-second lag. But at this point, I want to make sure that I'm listening to this because I am interested as to where we're actually going. Now that yeah. So I'm listening intently.
Yeah. The impression is there is no name for this place. I don't think anyone has named it. It's pretty much just, it's called the unexplored land or that place. It's the fort's like, no one seems to know anything about this place yet. It's like the fort has just been established. It's barely holding itself together. There is no official name for it yet.
Sure. Yeah, and I would have asked him, and do you minister to the population of the fort, or does someone else carry on those duties?
If anyone needs it, they should come on board and I'll administer them. But I mean, I've gone down there a couple times, but I prefer it up here. It's much, much better.
But they don't have a resident holy man? Not that you're aware of, anyway?
They don't have a holy man. They have someone there who's good at making certain concoctions, though.
I see.
Seems to do just as good as me, but I'm a little better at it.
And who runs the place? Who administers the fort?
Baron. I actually don't know his name. He's the Baron.
The Baron. Very, very well. Does he seem like
Funny, I never got his name.
Seem like a fair and honorable man?
To a point. I mean, he's in a hostile environment. Nothing's going right. If it wasn't for him, the place would probably already be gone.
I suppose he saw opportunity to carve out his own lands, and perhaps help with that would be welcome. Well, thank you for your information. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem.
Say, may the light shine on you.
May the she bitch kiss you. All right. So at this point, I was going to say this was, I don't know, maybe an hour since you've been out at sea. I'm going to kind of fast forward to the evening. You guys can kind of do whatever you want in those couple hours, but I'm going to say it's evening now. The sun has just set. It's still light out, but it's definitely darkness is creeping in fast. What would you all be doing at this point?
I would have probably been asking people about whether or not there were ponies at the unexplored land. If any of the people I run into have been there. Oh well, have you seen any ponies on this land?
All right. So a lot of people either like flat out ignore you, or they just say no and they move away. It's almost to the point where if people see you, like if you don't even say anything, just like, no, we don't know anything about ponies. Don't ask.
Right. Yeah, you start walking. No. Just no.
Yeah, they see you. It's like, no ponies.
Oh my gosh.
Grimwald's going to be trying to figure out more about the island because he's starting to get a little concerned now. This was not what he had intended to do, and he's not very happy that he's going to a place that is not a city, doesn't have easy people to steal from, and sounds in general more difficult than just like taking other people's things. Not exactly what he wants. So he's just trying to gather more information, like how dangerous is this place? Why is the fort so in ill repair? What's going on here? I needed to know what's going on, what I got myself into.
All right. Everyone gives you the same story. It's just while supplies seem to be good and troops, no engineers have come. There's no money for upkeep has been sent over. Sounds all in all, it just sounds like a very hostile environment, be it the plant life, be it the animals.
Lack of horses.
You haven't heard anything about horses, but the one thing Grimwald, that you does pique your interest a little bit is seems to be no law there. Kind of a very frontier type setting. But
That is
lots
interesting.
But with
Although
lots of soldiers.
it's mainly. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Duly noted.
All right. So you've been going on asking Ivar, what would you have done those couple hours?
So I would be standing on the deck, on the rail of the ship, holding onto it, always attempting to admire the sunset. And I would be again sort of saying that prayer that I had been saying earlier. But you would notice that I'm not like sort of casually resting on the rail. I'm like gripping it, like, and sort of swaying a little bit, and saying, "The Lord of Light grant me strength. The Lord of Light grant me grace. The Lord of Light grant me serenity. The Lord of Light grant me peace." And like over and over again, and then trying to take like this big deep they should have bet on me whether or not I was going to puke, because it looks like that's about what's going to happen. And in fact, if it's all right, I'll make a like a poison or a death save just to see.
Poison.
All right, I passed it, so I managed to hold it together.
Okay. So at one point you kind of like grip the rails and go like, whoop. But then you kind of like,
yeah. And then I kind of grab my water flask and
you kind of hear from behind you. Shit. You turn around. It's those two guys that were betting on Niduri.
Yeah.
They were like watching you. You see the young kid.
Yeah.
Hands over some coins to the big guy, and you see him kind of give you like a thumbs up.
Yeah, and I would kind of like give him, like, take my hand off the rail, give him kind of a shaky thumbs up, and then like kind of grip back on, like, and then I think as the sun's setting, my prayers would shift more to like a traditional liturgy or whatever, right? And it's kind of the words that the Holy Order of the Light would say every night as the sun sets, to kind of give thanks for the day and to ask for safety and safety throughout the night, the time of darkness.
All right.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't probably sleep under like in the ship. Like I would be looking for like a little place that I could like huddle up on the deck of the ship.
Oh,
Because,
I mean, as
yeah,
the darkness comes, there's guys
yeah,
they sleep right out on the deck.
yeah, yeah,
That's not
yeah.
an oddity.
I would probably like curl up in a corner somewhere and do that because I'm afraid I'm gonna puke if I go downstairs. So
All right. So Nidori and Grimwald, what are you doing as pretty much darkness is coming on? You see people start to settle down. Are you below decks or are you up on deck?
Is anyone collected singing like body drinking songs or anything?
Yeah, there probably would be some.
Nidori would probably try.
Not right now, probably more like a half hour before. People probably getting into it. Now, like people are starting to settle down.
Yeah, I mean, Nidori would be like really excited to join that. And then probably like the interaction from earlier, maybe it would like disperse when he shows up. Like, oh, God, this guy with the horses again.
Well, as guys are singing, some of them are kind of standing, kind of doing the swaying thing with the cup. They got one hand like sloppily thrown over shoulder. As you approach, they keep swaying.
Like start singing from like 20 feet back.
Well, it's kind of funny. They stop singing, but they keep swaying. Like their bodies are still doing the motions. They kind of like look at you. But as you keep singing, as long as you like keep the tone, they will gradually like start up again. That's why eventually you can kind of go up. They'll grab you and get you in here. They're drunk enough that yeah, you're like the weird dwarf, but whatever. You're singing the song with them.
Like tiny bubbles in my rum makes me happy, makes me feel fun.
And the little man didn't puke. We lose our money now. All right, so you're below decks. Grimwald.
Yeah, Grimwald is kind of antisocial in that regard. He doesn't really care about partying. I know it's not typical when you think of halfling, hobbit, or whatever. You always think of them as, but no, he's just
So below deck seems to be
really
kind of
about.
Yeah, like below deck seems to kind of like be the almost like a party now. That dwarf from earlier you see is kind of now joined in this bar song.
Yeah, I'll actually go up to Brother Ivar and I will sit next to him if he'll let me, and I'll just strike up a short conversation with him and be like, so, well, I don't know exactly where we're going, but it sounds pretty dangerous, and you look like you might know how to take care of people who get injured. And frankly, I'm afraid of getting injured. So, you mind if I stick with you when we get to when we get to wherever we're going? Because, yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of look over to him, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, my head is just pounding. Must have been that wine. Yeah, I expect we will find dangers. Walking in the dark is dangerous and bad for your health. So, yes, if you stick with me, I suppose I can offer whatever aid I can. However, may I offer you some advice to help keep you safe?
Sure.
Yes. And I would say probably best if you hold on to your own coin and let people keep theirs. It's the want of gold I can understand, but I have a feeling that there are riches beyond what you can imagine in this new land. And delving into the dark places of the earth.
Sir.
And you say I'm offended, sir, and I say, why are you offended?
You didn't see me steal those coins.
And I I would kind of look at him, and I would squint my eyes, not at what he said, but just because I'm trying to like ward off this headache, and I'm like, the light penetrates through all darkness and all deception. But
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
I care not for how you make a living. I just want to offer you some caution that, again, walking in the darkness is bad for your health.
Oh, don't I know it?
And again, so are the spirits on this ship. Oh. And then at that point, I would stand up and like literally like lean over one of these open barrels, just right into it.
All right.
And then I look around to see if those guys are there that were making the bet.
Those who do, oops, I almost fell. Those you do not see those two guys, but as you kind of like puke and you kind of like look in the water, something's moving down there in the water.
Like in the barrel or in the water outside of the ship?
In the water outside the ship, yeah.
Oh gosh. All right.
Now, Niduri, you're below decks, right?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I guess you're like in the bar area. You hear this loud.
You know, if the crowd kind of breaks up, he'd probably, you know, meander around looking for a place to be. He probably wouldn't really get the idea of the cots or hammocks or anything.
Okay, so kind of wherever you are below decks, from whatever the nearest like wall of the ship, you hear this loud like donk. You see people kind of stop. You two up on deck, you kind of hear it. Nubara, you hear it a lot more just below deck. So it sounds like something's like boom, smacking the side of the ship. You see people are going like, what the hell is going on? And you two up on deck, you see Andros come out of the quarters. Jonas, what's going on? And the guy who was at the bottom of the ramp back in the city, he comes, just, Captain, I don't know. Something's hitting the ship. Captain says, find out what it is. I don't want anything to happen now. And Jonas says, all right, you got it. I see he walks over, he lights up a torch. And you see him go to the edge and he kind of like waves the torch. Doesn't provide too much light, but it's better than nothing. Like looking. Nothing. You see a bunch of other people have lit these torches and they're all like looking over the sides. Grimwald and Ivar, I will let you see. There are forms kind of where these guys aren't with the torches and these gaps. Stuff. Forms start climbing over the top. Dead silent. They look like they're humanoid form, covered in scales. They have a tail, almost like a small like alligator type mouth. Classic lizard men. They all kind of very creepily sneak up, and there's a lot of them. And it's kind of weird because these guys are spaced out with torches, all like looking down. These guys crawl up, and at one, you don't hear anything, but half of the torches like just drop. You hear the screams of the guys, the torches fall and drop out. And everyone roll for initiative.
Woo-hoo. 5. Are we adding I don't have a dex mod.
D6 plus our dex.
D6 plus the dex.
D6, yeah.
Natural 20.
Well, you want to roll a D6.
D6.
Oh, never mind.
D6 plus your dex mod.
Natural
1.
6.
Natural 1.
I got a 5 plus 1, so 6.
6. All right. So here's the scene. Pretty much chaos happens now. As all these the guys who didn't kill, they pull up their torches and they start waving in front of them. You can see these forms lit up now. It's these humanoid forms covered in scales, tails. They'll have their claws out. There's one in the back of the ship. You can see in one hand he's got a spear and he's got like a shield gripped to his forearm. And he's kind of like casually walking forward. And you see him like pointing at various humans, and he's just going. And you see it's mass like you see the crew fighting. Some of them are like they're throwing the torches at them and they're pulling out blades. It's pretty much mass combat now. So, Grimwald, what are you doing? Oh, now one more thing happens.
I'm gonna use a move.
There is a giant one who kind of like gets up, and the human in front of him, he just kind of like, he didn't kill, he just kind of like pushed him out of the way. He goes right towards one of the masts, and with his two big hands and claws, starts just tearing at the wood at the mast. And it looks like if he's allowed to just do it, he will topple that mast, no problem. So Grimwald, you're up. You see torches are dropping everywhere, fire is yelling.
Yeah, I'm trying to find what the short range distance for my short range bow is. Or for my short bow. So short is, it looks like 50 feet.
Oh, that'll hit pretty much any of them.
Yeah. So I'm going to move. I'm going to move to 50 feet. However that is, use my move action to move there, and then fire my short bow at the guy tearing at the mast.
At the mast guy, okay.
Yeah, I have 7 arrows in my quiver. I'm going to grab one and take a shot. I get +2 with range. Okay, I need to. Sam, help me figure this out. My attack bonus is +1, but halflings get a. Okay, never mind. I get a +1 attack bonus when employing ranged weapons. Okay, so that's a +2 with that, and then a +1 for being within the short range. So +3 total.
Score.
And you don't. No, you don't, because that's just attack bonus. You don't add dex or anything.
Yeah, for a ranged attack you would.
Yeah, ranged is dex, yeah.
But I thought it would just went off of attack bonus.
With ranged weapons, I think you do add your dex mod. With a melee weapon, you do not add like a strength or a dex mod.
The basic attack mod is just you being an adventurer. Like you're that good.
I think that's the way I read it, but I don't know how. I could be wrong. I thought you did add your dex mod to a ranged attack. Let me just see. If he's a... Oh, no, never mind. That would be a sneak. Is he able to use his sneak attack? I mean, because he is...
Oh, you know what?
No,
attacking.
I'm not.
Well, it says attacks made from behind an opponent usually receiving a +2 attack bonus.
Yeah, sneak attack in this system is pretty much if they don't know it's coming. You usually only get 1, but it's like they don't bother about the flanking stuff. It's more if they don't know it's coming, it counts as attack. You know what? Yeah, you could probably get that.
As the I'll shift myself behind him. And then as far as the missile fire goes, I think it doesn't use dex. It uses the range modifier. So short range, you get the +1 and what have you.
Oh, okay.
So actually with that, I'll get a total of so from being behind, I'll get a total of
+3.
5.
Oh, +5, yeah. Sweet.
Yep. All right. I lose my arrow. Got a 9 on the die, so 14 total.
That hits. As this big guy's just clung with the mast, the arrow sinks in the center of his back.
Short bow arrow is 1d6.
Maybe you don't add your dex mod. I thought you did, but...
No, and I didn't.
Okay.
I rolled a 4 on the damage.
4, okay. So this big guy's there hacking away. This arrow goes. You can see it just sinks right in his back. You see he just kind of like this guy doesn't let out any yelp of pain, but you can see his whole body just tenses up. Slowly turns around. Looks right at you. Lets out this inhuman roar. Like this thing is like, say you're a human and the Incredible Hulk is standing in front of you. That's like kind of how this is. This is just a big, burly lizard man. He just turns around. You can see his claws are just big. Looks right at you. Lets out this inhuman roar. Now we go to Ivar.
And yeah, so I think like as soon as all this stuff happened, and Grimwald kind of sprung up and into action, that would have spurred me to action as well. And I think I would pull this Warhammer off of my back. And this thing is not ornate in any way, shape, or form. This looks like it was basically a forge hammer that was kind of made into a weapon of war. And then I'll also pull my shield, my wooden shield, off of my back as well, kind of equip it. And you can see this sort of fainted and chipped painting of like the holy symbol, the sunburst, on this thing. And I would kind of sigh, take a deep breath, and I would say, Lord of Light, grant me strength. And then I would start kind of walking towards this thing, and I would say, Halfling, stay back. And then I would yell, just not like any words or anything, just to draw its attention. And I'm gonna try to, if I can close with it, I'll attack. But otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
For cinematic, we will say yeah.
All right. So 13.
13 hits.
All right. And 7 points of damage with my Warhammer.
All right. So the thing doesn't drop, but you go in with this Warhammer. I'm gonna say you smack it right in its face. You can see its jaw is like hanging off. See blood come flying out of its mouth. And it almost goes down to like one knee as it does that. And you see kind of compose itself, looks at you, and just its jaw is like hanging off its face. And it tries to let out a roar, but it's almost nothing's coming out. He just can't vocalize. But just the hatred in its eyes is just now looking at you. You can see he takes his claws. He doesn't cut himself, but he just puts his claws across his face. And at one hand, this claws is just dripping in blood now.
Yeah, and if you can, I take just a tiny bit of narrative license here?
Sure.
Thanks. And so I think like at that moment, this like lightning would just illuminate the sky, right? Just because maybe there's like a storm or whatever coming down, but it would light everything up. And I think I would imagine almost as if this was like a movie, right? The camera would kind of pan from his face to mine, and it would show as like sort of his blood kind of sprayed up on me, 4 like parallel scars on my right cheek and one on my left, almost as if like when he cut himself, it was this like maybe symbolic, right? And I'm staring at him now with these dead eyes, and I would say something along the lines of like, the Lord of Light will drive you back to the darkness of the hell that you came from.
All right. Cool. So with Bullet, he's just looking at you, and you can tell he tried to roar, really couldn't, but his eyes just glaring at you, and he's got claws just dripping with his blood. Now it's everyone else's turn. All right, a couple things happen. Do you see the one that's in the back, the lizard man that was decked out, and he had the shield and the spear? You see him turn around. He picks up what looks like a cage. He just throws it. It's a wooden cage. He just picks up and throws it, and it breaks. It comes down and it just shatters kind of in the middle of the boat. And this little form gets up, shakes itself off. Looks like a rooster, except its neck is very serpent-like, and its tail is very serpent-like.
Oh, it's like cockatrice.
And you can see this thing just looks around.
Grimwald wouldn't know that, though.
Yeah, just like you just see this thing. It's small, but it just looks around. It's got a rooster face. It just looks around. You can tell this thing's just ornery and just does not want to be here. What am I doing here? Like, and it just, you see it go. You see one guy, a sailor guy, comes up with an axe. Oh, pretty good. All right. So this one guy with an axe comes in. As soon as the thing gets up, it slices down at it like not a big crescent axe, but like a battle axe. Slices down and embeds itself in this cockatrice that lets out this little howl. But as it does that, oh yeah, that hits. All right, and then his. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So that happens. You see him give this like laughter, like aha. This thing's head comes around. It's a little like serpentine neck, and you see it almost like pecks his arm, like it's like a beak. You see the guy kind of like let go, like oh shit, like peck. But then you slowly see he like looks around like what's going on, and you see he tries like move, but you see his motion start to slow down. It looks like he's in like a position to like look at his run away, and he's just frozen there. So one guy's now petrified, and you see the thing shake a little bit, and the axe kind of falls off its side. At this point, the guy with the spear and the shield pretty much starts running to the same area where the cockatrice is. And more stuff happens. You see Andros come out from the captain's quarters. He's got a saber. He just quickly looks around. He just charges at not the charges at the lizardman that's closest to him. And as he comes in, she sees the lizardman try and claw him. He takes the butt of his sword, knocks his hand out of the air, and just slices across, and decapitates this one lizardman. But then there's a guy who comes out, not out of the captain's quarters, but like there was a door that was kind of like to the side and behind comes out. Guy's got like a horseshoe haircut, jet black hair, very well groomed mustache and beard. He's in black robes. The robes have like golden stars and moons on it. And he comes out, same thing, looks around. See him, he waves his hand. You hear him, kind of like does that, like puts his hand out. And you kind of see like the air just like ripple from where his hand is. You see he catches two of them and they just get flung back to the back of the ship. And you see he kind of like puts his hands down. He doesn't go in like a karate stance, but he kind of goes in like a ready like stance with his hands. But at this point, the big lizard man will attack. And also another random lizard man will attack. Where's my duty? So I think Ivar, I think you know the big one's going for you.
Do I know that? I don't think he is. I get a 16 AC, by the way.
Oh, okay. So I rolled a 14. So this big one, it's with that claw, dripping blood. He goes in. It looks like he's about to slash, but he kind of changed it the last minute to try and just like pierce you and like go right for your neck. You managed to just kind of like almost like duck, hold up your shield. You could see some of the claws went right through it, but your shield blocked the attack, and you kind of just rip your shield down. It doesn't damage your shield or anything, but you just kind of rip your shield down. As you can see it pulled his hand a little bit, come down. Once again, he just kind of turns his head, looks at you. Grimwald, I got a 19. Does that hit?
What's attacking me?
This was a regular lizard man who kind of came as you were focusing on this big guy, kind of came up from behind and raked across your back.
Yeah, so it hits me regardless, but I get a +2 against creatures larger than man-sized. So that would be an AC of 16, but I don't think these things are larger than man-sized, so otherwise my AC is 14.
Nope. So he comes out, it's 4 points of damage. This one comes up, and you just feel this slice of ping go across your back. As if anyone else saw this guy just walked up, raked his claws right across your back, and your clothes are ripped. There's blood streaks down your back. All right, Nubari. Wait, did I say your name? Naduri. I said Nubari. Nuduri.
Yeah. So I've still been like downstairs. Everybody's kind of scattering. Yep.
Oh, you hear mass. You heard the thumps. Everyone's kind of like, what? And then you just hear people screaming.
Yeah, and then, I guess kind of being in the belly of the ship, it's almost like being in the cavern. So I just kind of instinctively like tuck my beard in my belt so that it doesn't get like in the way or get like cut. Start pulling the shield down, and because I'm pulling the shield, I just grab one of my war hammers instead of my mace, and just bound up the stairs towards the action.
All right, I'm gonna say pretty much your whole turn is gonna be almost like a double move. You get through the rest of the below decks, you get up the stairs, you get to the top of the stairs, and you can see all this like this flat out chaos happening.
Cool.
And yeah, you see this big guy. Looks like your holy man is engaged in surprisingly holding his own in combat against this big lizard man. And you see your little halfling buddy that is now probably yelling in pain as you just see this one lizard man claws right across his back. All right. Grimwald, you're up.
Yes, I pull out my short sword and rebut this lizard man. So I get none of my cool bonuses. I only get a +1 in this case. So here we go. Let's see. It's a 17 + 1.
That will hit.
All right. 1d6. 5 points of slashing damage.
Ooh, that's pretty good. All right. So then you turn around. Do you drop your bow?
If I have to. Yeah.
You're not moving, so no, you don't actually have to. They'll say you kind of, it looks like you could drop it, but
It's probably in my left hand. I shot my arrow, my bow's in my left hand. This thing just came up again. I probably have my bow in my left hand. I draw my short sword and turn around and slash at the thing.
Okay. So in a very quick motion, your bow, you take the hand with your bow, you put it down to your side, you spin around with your sword, and like one fluid motion, you pull it out and spinning. And as you finish your spin, you feel the sword just connect with them. You see blood goes flying to the side. And this one lizardman just kind of like, you can see it's holding its side now. There's just this big red gash across its chest. All right. Ivar.
All right, so does it look like Grimwald is sort of up and seemingly okay? As far as I can tell. I mean, I would quickly look back.
Sorry, you froze. My internet just like froze. What was that?
Oh, I was just wondering if Grimwald looks, because I would have at least turned back a little bit at his yell. Does he look like he is sort of doing all right? I mean, I presume he's on his feet and he made an attack. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, Grimwald, how much did this damage you? You're like a lot, or?
I am almost bloody. I'm 1 hit point away from bloodied.
All right. So as you look over, you can see he's got a pretty nasty gash on his back, but I mean, it looks like he's in pain, but he does manage to, you see his bow goes that he turns around in one motion, gets a sword out, spins, and as he finishes spin, just guts this one lizard man. It's still standing, but it blood splattered, it cried out, and you can see it's holding its side. So
it's one-on-one with him.
Yeah,
okay,
he's hurt, but he's holding his own.
Okay. So I think, that was sort of a moment of hesitation there, because, I'm having this internal thing where I'm like, do I retreat and try to be there to aid this new companion, or do I try to finish this foe and save potentially multiple people? So I'm like, kind of in my head asking the Lord of Light, give me guidance, right? But then I realized, like, no, I've earned at least a little bit of his trust and favor because he's granted me, his holy power. And so I think about it for a minute, and then I decide that the best course of action is to press the attack. So I will try to continue my attack on this thing, but I would yell as I'm doing this, kind of over my shoulder, Grimwald, if you need assistance, I can assist you. Ooh, but I think as I'm doing that, that might distract me a little bit. And my Warhammer, I mean, I rolled a 4, so +1 with the attack bonus is a 5.
No, that's a miss.
Yeah, I think I'm too distracted thinking about my injured companion.
So you started your attack pretty confident you were going to do it, but you turned to say that, and as you turn back, you can see you just whizzed right in front of this guy's face. You just didn't lean. Yeah, that moment of distraction, you just didn't lean up enough.
Yep.
and it's more like an oh shit moment. Is now like you did this, and now this thing's glaring at you, and you can see both its claws are up now.
Yeah. Let's hope my shield can block another blow.
All right. Who's up now? Everyone else now. Okay. Let's get the obvious. We'll get the Ivar. Oh, I rolled a 5. So 7.
Nope.
All right. So once again, it looks like he tried to take this opportunity, but he's off his. I mean, you can see there's just blood leaking from his jaw. A little wobbly. He goes in for an attack. He doesn't try to pierce it. He just goes for like a rake. And once you just hold up your shield, you can hear that scratch across it. Once you just kind of push it away, and his arm goes flying. It looks like that almost kind of took him a little while to recover from that. He's definitely and some more as he moves, you can see more blood kind of starts pouring out of that wound.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have once again he turns to glare at you. Hatred's not so more desperation survival now instead of pure hatred at you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Grimwald. This one guy, he was holding that wound. You can see he kind of shakes his head, looks up at you, and you can see he just he points his claws out at you and just lunges at you. Oh, for a 6.
Douge.
They'll say he literally kind of went low and jumped and lunged. So you just kind of duck a little bit, and he went right over you and lands on the other side now. All right. Niduri, as you get up there, you see what's going on. You see this. You scan around. What you see now, as you're scanning around, you're looking. You see there's one lizardman looking directly at you. One with the shield and the spear, looking right at you.
About how far away is he?
About 20 feet.
So as I come up the stairs and I see that happen, just instinctively, like shield on the left arm, just Warhammer goes flying. So that's gonna
no, it's his turn first, but yeah, I'll say you can get your shield up if you want.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
You look around, you see him. He's looking right at you, and as you kind of lock your eyes on him, you see he's had a dagger out, pushing right at you. 12.
No, I'm at 16.
All right. So he throws a dagger. You had your shield up, and just maybe by sheer of luck, you didn't have to move it. It just bounced off your shield. You see him kind of hisses, and he starts running at you, and he's got that spear out in one hand. That was his attack. Once again, you see, if you look around the crew, kind of holding their own. You see some crew members drop. You do see some lizardman drop. Andros and Jonas seem to be doing pretty good. They're kind of they're just going through like a wrecking ball, taking out lizardmen. The guy in the rows behind him, you see him do more minor, a burst of light in one of their faces, and it blinds it, and then Andros just stabs it, and he's doing little flares here and there, distracting him, and these guys just cut him down as they do that. All right, Niduri, your turn now.
All right, so that is a 15 plus 2.
That will hit.
Yeah. So yeah, this signature Hammerbrow Warhammer just comes over the shield right at the lizard man who attacked me. And that's gonna do 5 damage.
Ooh. All right. So he was coming in and looked like he was bracing. He was ready for an attack. He put his shield up, but you went a little higher. Boom, cracked him right in the face, right above that shield. And you could see it stopped his momentum. And he literally does the, and you can see some teeth might have, dislocate the jaw like the other one, but you see some teeth rattle out. And it looks like he almost falls backward prone, but he does hold himself. He uses that spear to kind of brace himself, pull himself forward. And kind of the other, just kind of glares at you
Niduri belly laughs at the hit, and it almost seems like this is kind of like a like a thing for him.
It probably was on the comical side. Like he goes in for this attack, you just kind of like boop, bop him in the head, and he like almost falls down.
Yeah, this is like a family technique, traditional war tactic. And then he'll go ahead and pull out his large mace.
All right, Grimwald.
Yeah. So
It is all hell right now.
I'm going to.
And at this point, there are parts of the boat that's on fire now.
Okay. There are parts of the boat that are on fire. All right. Yep.
Torches were dropped.
Yeah, the boat.
I mean, it's not up in flames, but there are obvious like parts where the deck is on fire. Not really near you, but you kind of have a more immediate threat right now of like a lizard man.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I will.
Don't worry about the cockatrice season.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's that thing.
Yeah. You can see there's been people going at it, and the cockatrice people have been going at it, and it's just like pecking back at them. And you see, there's like 3 people now around this thing in stone, petrified.
Are they stoned or are they petrified? Okay,
they're petrified.
All right.
They're bleeding, but the cockatrice itself is bleeding a lot.
Okay, I'm going to if you can tell me if I can or not. If I have to drop my short sword, that's fine. If I can sheath it, I'm going to sheath it or drop it. That's your call. And pull an arrow, and I'm going to shoot at the large monster that is on Brother Ivar. Because I appreciated the gesture. I noticed that he is he was looking after me, so I'm going to look after him, and I'm going to take that shot again. I'm assuming that the creature that just lunged at me, is it going to obstruct my shot at all?
No. The one you're shooting at is big enough where.
So you're saying you're firing into melee? Thanks, dude.
Oh, yeah. So, what's the negative to that?
It's only a problem if you miss. So don't miss.
It's more a GM discretion.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so am I still flanking the big creature?
Since you're not really moving, I'll say you can sheath your sword.
Okay. Am I still flanking the big guy?
Ooh. That's a good question. You know what?
Or has he turned?
He's turned, but see, flanking's not what gets you sneak attack. It's more doesn't know it's coming, and typically you only get it once per combat, but he is now fully engaged in combat with Ivar. Like that combat's heated up. You can see, maybe Ivar's not bloody, but the big guy is leaking, and it's kind of at this point it's towering over Ivar, and you see it just raking across his shield.
I'm not going for a sneak attack.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going for that flanking bonus.
Yeah, if you're behind him, will you get +2 or something?
Yep.
No, you're not really behind him right now.
Okay, so yeah, if he didn't turn or anything, or if he did turn, he probably turned, and now it's not behind him, so he'll see this arrow coming at him. So I don't get that +2, so it's a normal +3 for my ranged attack. So I pull out another arrow, and I loose it off towards this guy. That's a 15 + 3, 18.
Oh, that'll hit.
Excellent. Down to 5 arrows. And that one's 4 points of damage.
Ooh. All right. Want to explain how you take it down?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, basically this monster just lunged at me. It just missed me. I kind of follow it with my eyes, and I turn and I see Brother Ivar, basically swing and miss after shouting at me, and I quickly sheath my blade and in one fluid motion pull up an arrow, get it in my bow, launch it, and cinematically anyway, this thing was probably Ivar missed and maybe lose his footing a little bit, and my arrow comes just at the right time and hits the beast right in the chest, right in the heart, and it just kind of slumps down to its knees and hits the deck.
Yeah. So Ivar, as you're kind of this thing's beating on your shield, you hear like a, and you see this arrow just go right in its pretty much its center mass. And you can see just its whole body just kind of like gets rigid and slowly goes down. One knee goes down, the other knee hits the ground, and just falls to the side right in front of you.
Excellent. And I think maybe as this is happening, I'm kind of spinning around to face Grimwald again because I want to see what's going on. And there is still a creature up and alive around him, right?
There's a creature, like as this happened, as you let the arrow out, that one creature, it kind of like it lunged over and landed, and it took its time to get up, turn around, and now it's facing Grimwald.
Sure. And so I think what
Ivar's turn. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. I think what I would do at this point then is, you would say I would take a deep, like a deep breath, and my eyes would close for a minute, and I would say, the Lord of Light, grant me serenity. And then my eyes would open, and again, it's that sort of stony gaze, right? And I would just like start methodically just marching towards this creature. And I would go fast enough to, if I can, to get within range.
Oh, yeah. Like 20 or 30, whatever a movement is for you, he gets within range.
All right. Oh, natural 20, but I don't know if we're doing natural 20s or not. So 3 damage.
3 damage, all right.
Yep.
You know what? He had 4 points left. You did get in that 20. I say it was enough to get that extra point of damage. So you want to describe how you take this one out?
Yeah. So I think, as this thing had sort of spun to face Grimwald, like he's going to attack. I think probably what's happening is he's lunging back to try to make this big attack, right? And I almost picture it as like Grimwald is seeing this thing, right, as his bow, the string just snaps forward, and he's like, right, and then all of a sudden, like the body kind of goes like this, and the head comes clean off and flies right over Grimwald's head and there's my hammer like right there, and then the thing spurts blood everywhere. And I would think at this point, my gray robes are all like stained, and my shield is all battered and covered in blood. And I would look at the blood on my hammer, and I would look to Grimwald, and I would say, well, the Lord of Light recommends that we don't shed the blood of our enemies if we can help it, but when they walk in darkness like these creatures do, sometimes bloodshed is inevitable. And then I would look to him and I would say, speaking of which, you doing all right, or do you need help? Do you need immediate help, I would say.
You would say, let's see. I'd say, well, I'm not feeling great, but I'm good.
And then I would say, then I believe it is our duty to protect the rest of this crew, rid this vessel of these foul creatures. Are you with me?
Or to survive.
That would be preferable.
Yes.
But I would kind of motion to the fire, and I would be like, let's hope that doesn't get worse.
All right. So this is the turn where pretty much everything happens, but I want to call a quick 5-minute bathroom break.
Okie doke. Sounds good. I do recommend not turning off your cameras.
Nope. I'm just going to mute everything.
Yep. Ooh, we knocked down that big one. That's good.
All right. Oh, Michael's on. Okay. So how is it so far?
It's a little tense. Hoping the Lord of Light will protect me.
This isn't even Hot Springs Island yet.
I know. I was like, oh man, this jerk
I
is
wish I
going to
didn't
wreck
have
our
the
ship.
5-second lag. It sucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, like right there, I said that like almost 10 seconds ago at this point.
Oh, well, I mean, the combat's pretty almost done. I want to do a little more like RPing after that, but we're winding down to the end.
Cool.
I guess this is the part where we'll put up a come back soon or something.
Yeah. No worries.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I do see the photo on it. Oh, I like that photo. That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of those like iconic third edition art pieces, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember what the third edition halfling was. The iconic.
I mean, I'm almost certain that's from third edition or 3.5, but I don't know where it was in the book. So is this ship gonna go down? Are we gonna have a wrecked ship? You can tell me. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess this part will get it out. I mean, yeah, it's probably pretty obvious you'll be in a shipwreck and end up on Hot Springs Island.
Great. That's what I thought.
The whole fort in the unknown continent that's another land I'm building for my own world. Actually, the fort I do have there. That's why it's
Yeah,
Fort Redoubt's it.
totally. I mean, if you want to and you need to steal, I mean, you can always use Morgan's fort as
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
as part of that. I mean, and there's I think it's Monkey Isle is one of the
Yeah, I've seen that
modules.
one.
Yeah, which is exactly, it's an island, whatever. So there's lots of material if you need to quickly
Might be.
steal something. maps or whatever. But although I suspect you have maps, but
Yeah, Random Island, I don't really. Yeah, I don't have much for you yet. The city of Caldwin's pretty much all.
yeah,
That's my big thing I've been working on, but
nice. Yeah, check out Monkey Isle. That could be a really good supplement to kind of flesh some things out, or if you need some, some quick whatever locations encounters.
all right. Ah, Michael's back. All right. So I guess I'll start with a. Okay, welcome back from the break. We are jumping right back into this combat, and this is the round where pretty much everything happens. Okay. First thing that does happen is as this chaos is going around, at this point, Ivar and Grimwald are pretty much, there's no lizardmen currently around them. And Niduri is right now one-on-one with the guy with the shield. Everyone, you hear a bunch of pew, 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 pew. Bunch of arrows come. You see two of them hit the cockatrice, goes down. You see two more arrows hit two of the lizardmen, and they come down. And if you all turn, like you see, it's the blonde woman, Ryza, you saw in the bar. She's there with the bow. You see her pull out just like a handful more arrows and knock them. And you see her just kind of glaring around, like looking around for what's going on. And you can hear, I'll say you don't see, but that first spell he cast, like you see the air vibrate and it push everyone back. You can hear the boom, 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 boom. You can hear that in the background. You actually see parts of ships start like flying off. But so at this point, Nidori, let's get your combat done. So this guy, you bopped him in the head, almost knocked him down. Takes that spear and he just lunges. He kind of has a shield in defensive position, just lunges at you with the spear. 17?
Yeah, that is 1 over.
Ooh, for 6 points of damage.
That hurts a lot.
Oh. Yeah. So as you come in, you said you had your shield out. He learned from what you did, and you had your shield. He went under the shield. He went under and then tilted it up a little bit and went right into your gut, the spear, and pulls it out. As he pulls out, he goes, you can tell you no idea what he said, but it's almost like he's like cursed at you and laughed at you at the same time. All right. Niduri, you're up.
All right. That is an 18 to hit.
Oh, 18 will hit.
And this is with the big mace. And this is more of like the spiky morning star looking, just really kind of gruesome deal.
Like, this is a mace. This is a mace.
and a 1 for damage. So
1 for damage.
Yeah, so this spear hit is hard and the hit is good, but it's just not, it just doesn't sink in like I want it to.
I'll say what you try is as the spear got you, you kind of went for like a backhand swipe. And while you did connect, just the injury itself kind of maybe held you back more than you wanted. So you kind of like clipped them, and you can see like a little piece, like a scale came off. He definitely connected, but nowhere near as hard or as good as you wanted. All right, Grimwald, you're up. It is literally like mass chaos around now.
All right. Do I see
you glance over
my friend?
Yeah, I mean, Ivar is right next to you. You see, so there's other crew members. There's still combat going on. You still see the captain and Jonas. They're going through like that wizard. You see, he did that one spell, but he's doing like little flares in their faces, and they're just carving through. Then you look over and you can see the dwarf that you've somewhat befriended. Has a spear stuck in his gut. And you see the lizard man pull out the spear and almost like laugh at him.
Yeah, we're losing another arrow over that direction. Actually, would I be able to use a move action to flank him to get that +2 bonus for hitting him from behind?
Yep.
All right, so I jump down, I slide down like a banister or whatever, and I kind of leap to a spot where I know that I like the arrow. He's not going to see the arrow coming, and I quickly pull an arrow into my bow and loose it. 14 plus 5 is a 19.
Oh, that hits. And this guy had the higher armor class. You guys have hit him no problem.
For 6 points of damage, max damage.
That is just enough.
Kill shot.
Yeah, so
Yep, that's a kill shot pretty much.
He
Finish
Yeah,
him.
he pulls the spear out of Naduri, and as he's saying those curses and everything, like in the middle of it, he just gets an arrow through the back of his head coming out his mouth. And then he's
Yeah, so Naduri, as the thing pulled his spear, it cursed at you, and you see like as it's laughing, you just see an arrow, and the thing just drops to the ground.
and you see me standing a little far off in the distance.
And that wince from the spear turns to like more of that jovial, barroom laughter.
All right. So you guys are out of the immediate danger. The battle is still ongoing. It looks like the tide is starting to turn somewhat in the crew's favor, though there are a lot of crew members dead on the ground. There seems to be a little bit more lizardmen dead on the ground. But as you kind of like stop and survey, from below decks, there is a massive explosion. Like you literally feel the boat rumble some, and then
Probably some of what we were drinking earlier.
actually it does have something to do with it. Yep. So this big explosion. Everyone gets thrown somewhere else. This is all cinematic. You don't have to roll anything. All you get caught in the blast. You get thrown somewhere. You smack into something on the ship and pass out. Some of you get quick glance, like you pass out, you open your eyes just a little bit, pass back out again. You see what looks like other people, not lizardmen, coming up to you. But whatever they're gonna do, you pass out again. And now we'll fast forward. You wake up. No idea how much time has passed, how long you've been out. This is Ivar. You open your eyes. It's daytime. Very heavy smell of vegetation in the air. You're being dragged. You wake up, you're being like there's water all around you, and you can feel there's weight on like your cloak getting dragged. You finally hit a beach, and you're kind of like dropped, and you see your brother Tal next to you. His knees go down, his hands go on. Next to you, he's breathing very heavy. Looks over, sees you're awake. Good. You're still alive. Good. We switch to Grimwald. You wake up. You feel like you're bouncing almost. You wake up. You're looking down at the ground. You're seeing some black boots run. Takes you a minute. You're slung over someone's shoulder. And once again, you see water, and it slowly goes to beach. And as soon as you get to the beach, you see the form stop. You feel yourself get lifted off, put on the beach, and kind of over you, you see Captain Andros. And he kind of puts his hands on his knees, and he's huffing. Naduri, you are... Here's a dwarf, okay.
Dwarf wearing chainmail.
Yep. All right, so you wake up similar to Ivar. You wake up, smell of vegetation, water all around you. You're being dragged kind of aggressively. And it's like you feel your armor scraping against the bottom. And once again, you see slowly come up the beach. And as soon as you get on beach, it looks like they kind of try and place you down, but it's more they're exhausted. They just kind of drop you. And you see it's the woman Riza and two other crew members. They were kind of like just dragging you up on the beach. And they all kind of pant. You see Captain Andros. Who's left? That's it. Where are we? Billy, where are we? You see coming up behind the mage guy. He starts looking around. Don't know, Captain. This is not where we're supposed to go. And then that's when you guys can all. You're slowly awake at this point. You can interact now.
Like, are we all next to each other, or?
Not right next to each other, but close enough where if you wanted to talk to them, they would hear you.
Right.
Yeah, and you can see there's Andros, the mage, Ryza, Tal, and a bunch of other, not that many, but like a bunch of other like just random crewmen there. Everyone looks completely exhausted.
And we made several hours of seafaring journey before everything broke out, right?
You did, yes, and it was nighttime when this happened. It's definitely day, probably in early morning. You see a lot of people are just looking around. Kind of got the gist. No one seems to know where they are.
Yeah, I'll go over to the captain. I'll be like, "Is there anyone who has any idea where we're at?"
He just looks down and nods you, like, no. You remember the attack?
Bits and pieces.
The attack was 2 days ago. We've drifted out.
Holy shit!
And that's when you notice your stomach starts grumbling. As you look around, you can see you're on a beach. Ahead of you is this very thick jungle. Thick enough where you can't see it all. But if you look on the beach, if you look further up, the sand becomes black. And if you look even closer, you can see steam rising from there. And you start hearing all these interesting noises coming from the jungle. You hear the crashing of the jungle, not coming towards you, but you just hear something big crashing through the jungle. You hear some noises, sounds like a scuffle in the jungle. And it all goes silent. And that's where the camera will pan out to surviving crew of the Spinning Weasel on unknown shores. And that's where we will end the first session of Hot Springs Island. This is Caleb with the UnNamed Production Company. Thank you for watching this. We hope you enjoyed it. This is part one of hopefully a semi-long-term campaign. Everyone else want to give their outro?
Amazing. Man, thanks so much for running this. Yeah, again, my name is Sam, also with the UnNamed Production Company. I also run the YouTube channel Chalice and Chains, so you can check that out if you're interested. Oh man, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next session. Hopefully we will find some food, find some water, and maybe not too much trouble. So stay tuned.
I think Naduri might be
So to
looking
be
for some
clear, Caleb.
seahorses. So we'll have to see how that pans out next time.
Seahorse. That's pretty good. So to be clear, Caleb, the next section of this is supposed to be like a hex crawl, right?
Yes, Hot Springs Island is a old school hex crawl.
Excellent. I'm very much looking forward to that.
You were in unknown, uncharted territory, 2 days off from where you were supposed to go. Surrounded
Beautiful.
by jungle with noises coming from it, a black sand beach.
Oh man.
Yep.
Well, let's hope we can find some nice hot springs so we can have some rest and relaxation and a new vacation spot. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Once again, this is Caleb. Thank you for watching. See you next time.